We're live outside Shoppers World near Main and Steeles in Brampton, where a man in his 20s was fatally shot in a parking lot last night. CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan will give us an update on the investigation in moments.
Police and family are concerned about the safety of a 70-year-old woman from Brampton who has been missing for 24 hours.
And Air Transat canceling more flights as a strike deadline looms. Here's a live look at someone who looks slightly frustrated. 750 pilots will be in a strike position tomorrow at 3 a.m.
And Environment Canada has issued 2 weather alerts. We are under a freezing drizzle advisory and a special weather statement warning of significant snowfall.
This is Live at 5.
Hello, I'm Arda Zakarian.
And I'm Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about the weather. 2 weather alerts are in effect for Toronto with significant snow and the potential for freezing drizzle in the forecast.
Yeah, I was just outside. It is pretty intense. Environment Canada has issued a freezing drizzle advisory and a special weather statement. Freezing drizzle is possible now through the evening, and up to 10 centimeters of snow could fall by tomorrow afternoon. The heaviest snow is expected to begin overnight, leading to potentially hazardous driving conditions. More snow is expected in parts of Durham, Peel, and York region.
Okay, let's bring in Frank Seglenieks, University of Waterloo weather coordinator. Thanks for joining us here live on CP24. So it's snowing now, and then we're supposed to get freezing drizzle, and then that'll turn to snow up to 10 centimeters. Did I get that right?
That's right, but remember, we're going to be right around that 0 degree line, and that's just the critical point. That's where it could come in as snow, have a bit of freezing rain, a little bit of rain, back to snow, just all kind of conditions over the next 24 hours. So that's really what we have to be prepared for.
And what do you think that means for people that are driving? It's rush hour now, they're coming home. So what does that mean for drivers? What should they be aware of?
Well, they should be careful. That's the number one thing. Be careful. Be aware of the situation. You might not be able to stop where normally you'd hit the brakes before that stop sign a certain distance. Give yourself some extra time. Give yourself a bit of extra room between the cars, because there's conditions. Again, you're not going to be able to see that frozen surface from the freezing rain until it's too late. So anticipate that it's there. Take it easy. Take a little bit longer to get home, but get home safely.
Is there any point to maybe waiting this out, like maybe stay in the office a little bit longer and then hitting the road after that, letting things clear out, or is the weather going to get worse as time goes on?
It really depends on where you are in the GTA, so it's tough to say that. Now, anytime you wait a little longer, maybe the snowplows, the de-icers have a little bit of a longer time. As was said, most of the heavy snow is going to be more of an overnight thing. 2 or 3 in the morning, so probably don't have to worry about the blowing snow for the ride home, but it's going to be that scattered freezing drizzle, freezing rain. So if you want to wait it out, you might get a little bit better conditions just because there'll be less traffic and maybe a little bit more time for the road work to get out there, but it's just be cautious whenever you leave.
We've had snow before this December, but is this the biggest system that we have seen, or the most intense one in this year?
It's probably going to rival one that happened about 2 weeks ago. There was one around U.S. Thanksgiving, I remember that. So it's probably going to be about the same, maybe 10 to 20 centimeters, again, depending on where you are. So we've had these early snowfalls. It looks like we're going to have another one overnight. So that's just the way this winter is racked up so far.
So with that, you're at the University of Waterloo weather coordinator. Is there a chance, and just looking at the numbers and the trends, Christmas, a couple days away. What's the situation there? Are you forecasting maybe a white Christmas a couple of weeks from now?
Well, it's certainly looking good. I mean, we've got various areas in the area that have got 10, 20, even 30 centimeters of snow on the ground. So, and looking at the longer forecast, 7 to 10 days out, it doesn't look like we're getting a real big warm up. So all these temperatures, around 0 or even a little bit below, looks like the snow is going to stay. But I know it's still a couple weeks away from Christmas, so it's a little bit early to tell definitively. But certainly we've got that base of snow pretty much everywhere. So things are generally looking good for a white Christmas.
All right, good to know. That's the news people want to know. Frank Seglenieks, University of Waterloo weather coordinator. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's check on the commute now with CP24's traffic specialist, Adjoa and Siabois. Adjoa, the roads are busy and dicey out there.
Yeah, depending on where you're headed, we're getting a lull in the inclement weather, which is a good thing, at least right now, but not a lull in delays. Still really busy on the DVP. The delays start actually as you make your way from Dundas up to about Bayview-Bloor. Looks like my Bayview-Bloor camera did go out, but we were dealing with a collision right at the start of the ramp to Bayview-Bloor, and it did clear out. I saw it before my cameras froze. Southbound Don Valley Parkway still pretty busy over the 401 all the way down to the merge with the Richmond ramp. A reminder, that's closed until next spring for ongoing road work. And if your travels take you to the Gardner, slow going, exiting the downtown core, and precipitation free, very heavy though, from Jarvis and sections out to Royal York, and still a slow go on the 401, both east and westbound, but all earlier issues have cleared. We do have one problem on City Street, still blocking lanes on St. Clair and Birchmount. It's a collision in the area. I'll send it back to you.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Well, police investigators still on the scene of a busy Brampton Mall, a parking lot where a man was shot and killed last night.
And we're going to go live to our crime analyst, Steve Ryan, outside Shoppers World near Main and Steeles for the very latest on this investigation. Tell us what happened, Steve.
Well, Ara and Phil, according to Peel Police, they received multiple 911 calls last night at 7 p.m. regarding shots being fired at a motor vehicle. It was on the east side of the mall in the parking lot, actually just behind me where the command post is set up right now. When police arrived on scene, they found the vehicle had been shot at multiple times, and there was a man inside of that car. He was vital signs absent. This has since become a homicide. So the scene has been secured since last night, just after 7 p.m., and it's just been taken down throughout the day. We saw different investigators on scene here. At one point, we saw the Major Collision Bureau. They were on scene taking photographs near the entranceway before it started to snow, of course. So most likely they were looking at evidence, perhaps acceleration marks, things of that nature that were on the ground, which could help investigators perhaps even determine what type of suspect vehicle was used, or the size of that vehicle that was used to make their escape after this shooting occurred. We don't know whether or not this was targeted or whether or not it was a random shooting, but I can tell you, when you have multiple shots being fired, it certainly suggests that it was a targeted shooting. Often, if it's a random type of shooting, a one shot and then you're out. If there are multiple shots being fired, it's considered overkill, and it's done by design. So this is part of the investigation that the police, I'm certainly sure, will take into consideration when they continue with their investigation. We heard from Peel Police earlier on as well. Here's some of what they said to us. Let's have a listen.
Around 7 p.m. at this large mall parking, it is obviously concerning that this is happening here, but unfortunately what's happened here is terrible, but at the same time we're glad that nobody else was hurt in this incident. But I can assure you that the investigators are going to be working on this non-stop until they can try to figure out further leads.
And of course, they need assistance. They are asking for those who have information or may have witnessed anything suspicious last night, or you may have heard something, or even have third-hand information. Any of that information might be valuable to the police. So if you've got information to pass on, do give the police a call. I'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you so much for this, Steve. It has been 24 hours since a 70-year-old Brampton woman was last seen, and police are appealing to the public.
Yeah, let's go live to CP24's Melissa Duggan at Queen and Chinguacousy for the latest in the search for Donna.
Yeah, and that timeline, missing for more than a day now, really has police concern, has this woman Donna's family concern. She's 70 years old, described as a vulnerable senior. She has difficulty communicating with people. So police are really urging anyone to just be on the lookout right now. Keep an eye out for Donna. She's not dressed properly for this weather. They want to make sure that she does get home safe. I want to share a description, who you should be looking out for this evening. Donna is described as white, 5'6", with a medium hair. Donna was last seen wearing a furry brown vest, tan-colored inner sweater, light brown pants, brown boots. She's also wearing a pink scarf that has hearts on it. Where she was last seen, just south of where I am right now, which is Queen and Chinguacousy. This is where Peel Police have set up a command post. We know that they have officers on the hunt for her right now, that they're looking through surveillance video and seeing if they could kind of determine the path she may have taken. They're following up on some tips. They want to get some more tips as well. Here's more of what we're hearing from Peel Police.
She is a vulnerable person. We do have instances in the past where she's gone missing. However, we've been able to locate her. quickly. This is approaching 24 hours now, which is why we are concerned.
Yeah, so she was last seen yesterday at about 4:30 p.m., not far from where I am right now in Brampton. Again, this is near Queen and Chincoosy. Donna, 70 years old. If anyone thinks even that they may have spotted her, reach out to police, let them know. Obviously, Phil and Arda, this weather is a real concern. I was in Brampton last night reporting on a story not too far from here till about 11:30. It was very cold. We're looking at another cold night here. We have some freezing rain falling as well. So certainly be on the lookout for Donna. Help her get home safe. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. It feels like -8 right now. We're going to be getting that freezing rain and more snow overnight. So yeah, definitely people need to help out with that search. All right, moving on right now. Police are asking residents in a North York neighborhood to check the tires on the vehicles after an arrest in a mischief investigation.
They say on the evening of December the 4th, a person was observed puncturing a vehicle's tire near Jane and Wilson, and officers found another vehicle nearby with a punctured tire. In one case, police say a driver got onto a local highway with a flat and nearly crashed. Police are concerned more vehicles could have been damaged. 45-year-old Abdi Fatah Ade is facing mischief charges.
And a Toronto woman whose dog attacked and seriously injured a child last year will now serve time behind bars.
Patricia Siarek was sentenced to a year in jail and 3 years of probation today. She also has been barred from owning a dog for 10 years. Siarek has pleaded guilty to criminal negligence, causing bodily harm, and failing to prevent a dog from biting a person. The court heard that she had previously been ordered to keep her dog muzzled in public, but took it to a playground that was off limits to dogs and removed its muzzle and its leash.
It's 5:11 right now. It feels like -8. Watch live at 5.
Air Transat has canceled a second wave of flights as the airline prepares for a possible pilot strike. We'll go live to Pearson next for the latest on where talks stand with Beatrice Faisman. Welcome back. Air Transat has been canceling flights today ahead of a potential strike or lockout involving pilots that could begin overnight.
Yeah, CP24's Beatrice Faisman joining us from Pearson Airport with the latest as passengers are scrambling. And Beatrice, you had someone on the line with customer service going back and forth. People definitely don't look happy right now.
Yeah, not happy to say the least, to Phil and Arda. I mean, it was an interesting kind of glimpse into what the experience has been like for these passengers, many of whom have arrived here to Pearson Airport, hoping to at least get some answers after their flights this afternoon were canceled. These are people going to European destinations like Manchester and Lisbon. What they're being told and handed, and there's a lineup of them, they get given a business card with a phone number. Here you go. Good luck. You get on the phone and you try to deal with some of these customer service agents on the phone. And so our viewers heard a bit of that conversation between Gilda and a customer service rep. And essentially, she was told, you've been refunded, book another ticket. But guess what? If you book another ticket, you're not getting any guarantee that the airline, Air Transat, will actually reimburse you for the difference in price between your original flight that you booked possibly months ago and this new flight that you're now having to book at the very last minute to get to your destination. So incredibly frustrated patrons here, incredibly frustrated travelers, who many of them are just kind of left in limbo, not sure what to do next. Here's a bit of what I heard from some of these passengers who I spoke to earlier this afternoon.
I'm assuming they're about to be in the same boat. Half of them are there, thankfully, already. I actually called Air Transat yesterday asking them to put me on the earlier flight in case this happens, and they refused. And here we are in the exact situation that I begged them not to put me in.
Phone this number. I've been downstairs to make the call, and I was on the phone for nearly 40 minutes, and it just kept going through a cycle, so I gave up. So
now what are you going to do?
I've got my wife's looking online to see about what other flights are available, and because I've blatantly refused the refund, and the other lady was saying you wouldn't get the refund for about 30 days anyway, so there's still something that could be done there. I have to buy a flight, so that's my next port of call, downstairs, I think.
And so this is all happening now, Arda and Phil, because Air Transat announced late this afternoon around 1:30 or so that they were canceling a second wave of flights today. So this afternoon, the European flights to places, again, like Manchester, Lisbon, they were nixed. Tomorrow, more flights canceled as well from European destinations to Toronto and Montreal specifically. And there's also rescue flights that are happening as we speak as well. Some coming in the 4 o'clock hour or so. Air Transat flights from places like Cancun and Punta Cana, many of whom people coming back earlier than they were supposed to because they've got to get back to their point of origin. Otherwise, they risk being in limbo as well. The two sides, as far as we know, they're still talking in Montreal. Negotiations still continue, but the deadline is 3 a.m. It is coming quick, and so it could be very soon to see these 750 Air Transat pilots actually hit the picket lines, and a lot more frustrated passengers as well to come, no doubt.
Hopefully they come to a deal soon. Thank you so much for this, Beatrice. We really appreciate it. The Mayor's Executive Committee has adopted her proposal to increase the luxury home tax.
The proposal calls for the land transfer tax on luxury homes increased by about 1% on homes worth at least $3 million. It estimates this will bring in an additional $13.8 million next year if approved by City Council. The committee also approved the recommendation for maximum indoor temperature requirements for rental units and cooling rooms. And Royal LePage is forecasting an uptick in home prices next year, with the housing market primed for a reset as more buyers. It's now probably going to make a move.
The national aggregate home price is expected to increase 1% annually to around $823,000 in the fourth quarter of 2026. Prices are expected to rise in most major markets, with the exception of Toronto and Vancouver. The projections follow significant economic and political uncertainty, including a trade war that prompted a recalibration of market expectations.
The volume of homes trading hands acts as a crystal ball. We've seen very small incremental increases in the number of houses trading hands in the GTA and Southern Ontario through the second half of 2025. And we believe that will gradually begin to build prices. But it won't happen in time to actually show a price increase in the Greater Toronto area.
New numbers crunched by Zoocasa show there are a few housing markets that are emerging as clear winners for both buyers and sellers. Zoocasa looks at the ratio of sales to new listings and says Niagara region is the top buyers market, followed by the GTA. CEO Carrie Lysenko joined us live this morning with a closer look at what's taking shape.
Firstly, where we were seeing in kind of past during the pandemic, with the heat and the hotness of really both in the GTA and across Ontario for a number of years, we're in a much different situation now where a lot of the Greater Toronto Area, Golden Horseshoe, is in that buyer's market. And really that is putting the choice and the decisions in the hands of the buyer. We're not seeing as many bidding wars. And really what that means when buyers come to the table is they have a lot more opportunity to negotiate with these sellers.
Windsor-Essex is also considered a buyer's market, while select other areas across the country are either balanced or seller's market.
Yeah, Windsor, you get like a house for $400,000. It's crazy. It's 5:20, feels like -8. You're watching Live at 5.
Up next, Health Canada has approved the first drug designed to treat postpartum depression. We'll be talking about that next. Welcome back. Flu season is ramping up across the country. Have you been hit with it yet?
I think I got hit on Monday. I was out for a day. I got my flu shot, though, like 2 weeks prior. So I think that's why it wasn't as bad. But also, squat a lot. It helps. Now, according to the latest data from Health Canada and the week ending on November 29th, there was nearly 3,700 confirmed cases of the flu reported across Canada. That's up from about 2,400 the week before and about 1,500 the week before that, if you're keeping up. Dr. Isaac Bogosh is encouraging everyone to get the flu shot to protect themselves. He spoke to CP24 Breakfast this morning about this year's flu vaccine itself.
When we look at how good the vaccine is this year, I have to acknowledge that it's still really good. It's still the best we have, but one of the three components of the vaccine doesn't work as well as we'd like it to work. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It still does. It still provides some protection, just not as much as we would like. And there's two other components of the vaccine that work very well. So still extremely important to get a flu shot.
Dr. Bogosh says that there could be more pressure now on hospitals this flu season.
Health Canada has approved the first drug designed to treat postpartum depression.
The pill sold under the brand name Zurzuvae is taken once a day for 2 weeks. Health Canada says it can start relieving symptoms in just 3 days. It says 1 in 5 women experience a depression or anxiety disorder during or after pregnancy.
It's now 5:23, -2, feeling like -8. This is Live at 5.
Up next, the Blue Jays introduced Dylan Cease, the largest free agent acquisition in franchise history. He spoke to reporters. Coming up. Everyone's all giving thumbs up because everyone's happy because the Blue Jays, sure, they lost the World Series, but they're loading up. Arda, Blue Jays introduced Dylan Cease today, the largest free agent acquisition in franchise history.
Yes, we have hope in him. Cease signed a 7-year, $210 million contract this offseason to bolster the Jays' starting rotation. Cease hasn't missed a start in 5 seasons and has recorded more than 200 strikeouts in each of those seasons. Cease was joined by general manager Ross Atkins and his agent Scott Boras for a news conference at Major League Baseball's winter meetings in Orlando.
The biggest part really was being able to be a part of a championship team, and obviously with the run last year, they've proven that they have championship caliber players, and obviously a good process. So, that was probably the number one thing. And then from there was also, how would they help me maximize and develop and basically reach my potential more often. That was important to me. So that was probably the second biggest consideration. And it seemed from the get-go that it was going to be pretty inevitable.
Over time, as we went through some down years and the time that Mark and I were there, we poured into the resources that help players improve. And as that started to bubble up into wins, we then poured more money into resources around free agency and investing in players more long-term in a significant way. And that, as it turns into more wins and we do everything in our power to make sure we're helping players feel comfortable and transition smoothly beyond just them as performers, but as people, has turned into what we feel is an attractive destination.
Cease will be the first player in Blue Jays history wear 84. He might also be the first Blue Jay to be a beekeeper. He makes his own honey and sells it.
Ooh, fun fact about him. Mm-hmm. Amazing. The Raptors host the Knicks tonight in the quarterfinal of the NBA Cup.
15 minutes off of the bench. Ingram, the length.
Raptors coming to the game on a 3-game losing streak, while the Knicks have won 3 straight. New York crushed Toronto 116-94 in their previous matchup, November 30th. The Knicks are 2 games ahead of the Raptors in the Atlantic Division. RJ Barrett will be out for another week after having an injection in his injured knee. Tip-off at 8:30.
It's now 5:29, -2, feeling like -8. This is Live at 5.
We come back. A man was fatally shot in a busy parking lot at Shoppers World near Main and Steeles in Brampton. We'll go live as the investigation is still ongoing.
A man fatally shot in the busy parking lot at Shoppers World near Main and Steeles in Brampton. We'll get a live update on the investigation from the scene coming up in moments.
Also in Brampton, police and family are concerned for the safety of a 70-year-old woman who has been missing for the last 24 hours.
Air Transat is canceling more flights as a strike deadline looms. 750 pilots will be in a strike position tomorrow at 3 a.m.
And Environment Canada has issued 2 weather alerts. We're under a freezing drizzle advisory and a special weather statement warning of significant snowfall.
This is Live at 5.
Good evening. I'm Phil Perkins.
And I'm Arda Zakarian. Welcome to Live at 5. Police are still on the scene in the busy Brampton Mall parking lot where a man was shot and killed last night. Let's go live to CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan outside Shoppers World near Main and Steeles for the latest on this investigation. Steve, what can you tell me?
Well, we are still here. It shows the importance of holding a crime scene, that's for sure. So we're coming up to 24 hours. The Peel Police still have this scene secured. In fact, they just took the tape down. The command post is still here at the scene. And joining me now is Constable Halfyard to discuss this. Thank you for your time. And what can you tell us?
Yes, so Steve, we're still in active investigation. Our Homicide Bureau is having carriage of the investigation. We're still in the area, as you can see behind me, and you mentioned already there's a command post. We're still in the area canvassing for any available video, any witnesses who may have been in the area. Obviously, as you can see, this is Shoppers World Mall in Brampton. It's a holiday season, so we are canvassing for anybody with information. Please come forward and contact our Homicide Bureau.
Having the command post here, it symbolically, it's important as well. I guess people can go to that command post if they've got concerns, if they've got any questions with regards to what's transpired?
Yes, absolutely. There's officers there, and there is also an investigator who's present in that command post.
Your thoughts on what's transpired? I know we see an awful lot of these shootings that are happening throughout the GTA. This is a busy shopping mall at 7 o'clock at night. I mean, what's your thoughts?
It's a tragic situation. There's no easier way to describe it than that. And obviously, it's at a mall. We're aware there's other civilians around. It's a holiday season. People are shopping. This is something that we take very seriously. And this is something, obviously, an incident that's of great concern for us as well. And we'd like to solve it.
And with regards to witnesses, if anybody has information, what can they do?
They can contact our Crime Stoppers. They can remain anonymous by contacting Crime Stoppers, or alternatively, they can contact our Homicide Bureau at 905-453-3311, extension 3205.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Witnesses are always key in these investigations. You've got your forensic evidence and you've got your witness statement as well. And the police have been here all day collecting their forensic evidence before the snow came, thankfully. And now they're looking for the help of witnesses. So you have information. You heard from the officer. Give the Peel Police a call. No piece of information is minor. Every piece of information will be followed up. And that could be the piece that would identify who these suspects are. Back to you guys.
All right, real quick, you mentioned about the snow, Steve. We're going to have some, drizzle, frozen drizzle and snow. Would that really hamper, like if there was another scene somewhere else for another investigation, does that really hamper the search and the process there?
Well, it can, but earlier on today, Peel Police were out here taking photographs of the parking lot here. Their Major Collision Bureau was. So I would suspect, and this is just my observations, that they were taking pictures of tire marks because they were near the entrance, and you may have witnesses say that they saw a car tear out from this particular part of the lot, but they were here earlier. But if you've got tire marks, just on that point, if you've got tire marks on the ground and the snow is coming, you just cover them up. I've been in scenes where I've seen some very innovative officers who've actually taken off their jackets and put them over something that was evidence that needed to be collected, knowing that the snow was on its way. So there are a lot of innovative ways that you can cover evidence, but the main point is that you have to secure that evidence, and that's what was done today, and that's why the police were able to come out here today and take all the photographs that they needed.
All right, Steve, Ryan, that's why we have you. All those insights, appreciate it. Well, police have made an arrest in a hit and run downtown last week.
A woman was seriously injured when she was struck by a Lamborghini SUV at Yonge and Queens Quay on December the 1st. The vehicle was later found in a nearby parking garage. 29-year-old Samuel Finus of Quebec has been arrested and charged with dangerous operation causing bodily harm and leaving an accident scene.
And police are investigating a suspicious death in the West End.
Officers were called to a medical call at this apartment building on St. Clair and Rushton Road shortly before 8:30 this morning. That's where they found a 79-year-old man dead. Police have taped off a fire exit inside the building.
I did see a police officer in the garbage area with the superintendent, and he was taking pictures of the big bin. So I don't know why they would be taking pictures of the garbage bin.
The cause of the woman's death is being investigated. The homicide unit has been notified, but right now aren't handling the case.
Well, it's been 24 hours since a 70-year-old woman from Brampton was last seen, and police are now appealing to the public.
Let's go live to CP24's Melissa Duggan, who is at Queen and Chinguzi for the latest on the search for Donna. What do people need to know, Melissa?
Hey there, Arda and Phil. Listen, we're just trying to get the word out right now, trying to share these images, try to kind of jog anyone's memory. Maybe you've spotted her. Maybe you will see her a little bit later on tonight. Keep these images in mind as you are in the area of Brampton. Right now, I'm in the area of Queen and Chinguzi. Just south of here is where Donna, 70 years old, was last spotted at 4:30 p.m., roughly that time yesterday. So now missing for more than 24 hours. She's described as white, 5'6", medium build, shoulder length, frizzy brown and gray hair. She was last seen wearing a furry brown vest, tan colored inner sweater, light brown pants, brown boots, and a pink scarf. It has hearts on it. Police, her family, they are concerned about her safety. She's described as a vulnerable senior citizen. She has difficulty communicating with others, and really what she is wearing right now, it is not enough to deal with these very cold conditions. What we saw last night, what we're seeing right now, freezing rain falling where I am in Brampton at this moment, and it's going to be a chilly evening tonight. Here's more of what police are saying.
We are looking at video surveillance, and basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to pinpoint video surveillance from where she may have last been seen and follow up on leads.
Yeah, so more than 24 hours, Donna, 7 years old, has been missing. For anyone who thinks that they might have seen her, just reach out to police. Keep an eye out for her at this point. Again, weather a real concern here tonight. Where I am right now, this is where the police command post is set up at Queen and Chinguacousy. Certainly, if anyone has spotted Donna, you're welcome to come here. Reach out to police. There are a number of cruisers parked in this parking lot, as well as police are carrying out this search effort to try to find her. So again, Donna is her name, 70 years old is her age, last seen more than 24 hours ago. We've been sharing her images. They're also available on our website as well, CP24.com. Peel Police also putting it up on their social media accounts. If you want to share some of those images, I know that we put them on our social media as well. Certainly get those out there. As many eyeballs as we can get on this situation, better chances are that we could get Donna home safe. Back to you guys.
I'm Melissa, live at the Search Center there in Brampton. Thanks so much. Okay, moving on now to a very different story. A new photo has been released of Ryan Wedding, the Canadian Olympian accused of being an international drug kingpin.
Yes, take a look at this new photo. The FBI says this photo was taken somewhere in Mexico this summer, where Wedding is believed to be hiding with the support of the Sinaloa cartel. Wedding is accused of running a multi-billion-dollar cocaine enterprise and is one of FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. He's also accused of orchestrating multiple murders, including right here in Canada. The U.S. is offering a $15 million reward for information that could lead to his arrest.
All right, let's take a look at the traffic right now. Well, it looks like roads are kind of clear right now.
Yeah, we're getting a lull in the inclement weather, so that's kind of a good thing, Phil, out there for commuters. But it doesn't mean it's not slow. It's slow on all of the major area highways, in particular the Gardner westbound. For commuters trying to get out of the downtown core, no longer construction between Dufferin and Jameson. Glad to hear about that, but it is still slow exiting the downtown core from Jarvis and sections out to Grand through that new construction. We might have some emergency crews making their way on the Park Lawn ramp to the Gardner. I'm not hearing of any problems, but if I do spot something, I'll definitely let you know. Don Valley Parkway northbound continues to move slowly but improving, approaching Bayview Bloor up to the 401. And if you're using the 401, it is really, really busy across the top of the city. Haven't spotted any brand new issues, but the crawl home continues and continues further east if you're heading into Durham, where I was getting word of some light drizzle. So if you're headed out towards Durham, drive with a lot of extra care and caution. I'll send it back to you both.
Thank you so much for this, Adwa.
Welcome.
2 weather alerts are in effect for Toronto, with significant snow and the potential for freezing drizzle in the forecast.
Here's a live look right now of the roads. And as Adjo mentioned, a bit of a lull right now in the precipitation. So roads are looking actually quite clear right now. Any slowdowns could be just congestion. Environment Canada has issued a freezing drizzle advisory and a special weather statement. Freezing drizzle possible now through the evening, and up to 10 centimeters of snow as well could fall by tomorrow afternoon. The heaviest snow is expected overnight, 3 to 4 in the morning, leading to potentially hazardous driving conditions. More snow is expected in parts of Durham, Peel, and York regions.
University of Waterloo weather coordinator Frank Segliniaks says that we can expect a mixed bag of weather over the next 24 hours.
We're going to be right around that 0 degree line, and that's just the critical point. That's where it could come in as snow, have a bit of freezing rain, a little bit of rain, back to snow, just all kind of conditions over the next 24 hours. So that's really what we have to be prepared for.
It's 5:41 -2. This is Live at 5.
Well, Air Transat has canceled a second wave of flights as the airline prepares for a possible pilot strike. We'll go live to Pearson Airport, where passengers are not happy. I'm sure a lot of people want to get out of here, go somewhere warm. And Air Transat, well, is getting in the way of that, has been canceling flights today ahead of a potential strike or lockout involving pilots that could begin overnight.
CP24's Beatrice Faisman joins us live from Pearson Airport with the latest as passengers scramble to adjust their travel plans. And you've been speaking to frustrated passengers.
Yeah, very much so, Artafil. A lot of frustrated passengers here at Pearson this afternoon. Manchester isn't exactly a warm place to go, but it's one of the destinations that an Air Transat flight was supposed to go this afternoon before it got canceled around 1:30 this afternoon. I just met Daniela, who had a ticket to be on that plane. So you've got your bags, you were all ready to go, you're here at Pearson, and then?
And then it got cancelled, so I had to put matters in my own hands, and I basically booked an Air Canada flight. But now I've got to do a stop, and this would have been direct, so I'm kind of disappointed with Air Transat. I think they should have let us know and not let us come to the airport and then just say cancelled, just like that.
Yeah, you just found out when, around 2 o'clock for a 7:15 flight?
I got an email until the Uber driver brought me. He said, you know what, just keep going. I was in the Uber. So what was I supposed to do?
What happened when you got here? What did they tell you to do or not do?
Once I saw the email, I read the email, they said they're supposed to be fully reimbursing if you say you want your money back. So I'm not rebooking. I don't trust this strike right now. So that's just the way I feel. I'm very upset.
But you booked a flight for on the credit card, whatever, on Air Canada.
I did.
And
Let's go Air Canada.
Are you hoping to get your money back from Air Transat? Have you gotten any communication about if you're going to get the difference that you've paid for your flight to Air Canada versus the one?
That's a good question. I will have to ring them though. We'll see what they say, but they are going to fully refund according to the email. Whatever.
How frustrating has the process been?
Very frustrating. I just can't believe. I hope they come to an agreement because I'd like to use them on the way back, at least, right?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. I'll let you get going then. Off to Manchester on a layover. I spoke to some other people as well, Art and Phil, who expressed a lot of frustration. Here's a bit of my conversations with them earlier this afternoon.
I have a special date that as an ordination, this was booked for months. I didn't even get the cancellation until I was actually here. And then it popped up and said, oops, there was an error. No explanation, nothing. They handed us a card, and even the employees here on Transit, they had no information. They did not know how to answer any of our questions, nor were they said that's all the information they have. They have no information. They were just told to go out here and hand us these cards.
So I get to the airport well in advance. Nothing's been canceled. I try to check in. They say, oh, wait, check in at the machines. The machines won't let me check in. And then suddenly I get an email saying, you're canceled. Sorry. And that was it. So I called through to the helpline, which these people were very nice to give me. And I felt bad for the guy who answered because he's going to have nothing but problems all day. And I said, look, you're going to have to book me on a new flight. The answer was, no, we're not going to do that. Well, you don't have a choice. So they have 2 hours, 3 hours to do that. And then, of course, you've got to pay for my accommodation. If there's accommodation, you've got to pay for my meal. If there's a meal, oh, no, you've got to submit all the bills. So I confirmed with them that they weren't going to do this. And I said, well, you're going to send me the money. When am I going to get the money? And they said, oh, 5 to 15 days, something like that.
And so here at Terminal 3 at Pearson Airport, where the Air Transat help desk is and the check-in counter is, some pretty intense conversations, negotiations happening between passengers and some of the staff, and obviously some intense negotiations happening in Montreal as well between the Airline Pilots Association, which represents the 750 Air Transat pilots, and the employer. We haven't heard an update at this point this evening, Arda and Phil, but certainly one will come today as we tick closer to the deadline, 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when these pilots are poised to walk off the job if no deal has been reached. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. Some frustrated people at Pearson and also frustrated people trying to commute to work. The new Finch LRT has only been open for a couple days, but issues around travel times, just how slow the LRT is, are being raised in City Hall.
So Mayor Olivia Chow says she has heard the complaints about how slow the service is and will bring this up at the next council meeting.
It's important to note that the city and the TTC did not have full operational control until a few days ago. So we could not do what we wanted to do because belong to Metrolinx. So the trains belong to them, but we now have operational control.
Chow also says this will also be on the agenda at tomorrow's TTC board meeting. Transportation Minister Prambit Sakaria has said that the city can give the trains signal priority to help speed things up.
Let's hope so. It's 5:49, feels like -8, watching live at 5.
Coming up, we'll take a closer look at the new federal justice bill tabled today that the government says aims to better protect women and children. Welcome back. Canada's ambassador to the U.S. is going to step down in the new year.
Now, Kirsten Hillman was appointed ambassador in 2019 after helping lead the renegotiation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement during U.S. President Donald Trump's first term. In a statement, Hillman says, quote, "This is the right time to put a team in place to see through negotiations for renewing the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade."
The federal justice minister tabled legislation today aimed at addressing hateful and controlling behavior toward women and better shielding children from online predators.
Under the Protecting Victims Act, killings driven by control, hate, sexual violence, or exploitation would be considered first-degree murder, which would be defined as femicide when the victim is a woman. The bill would also outlaw engaging in a pattern of coercive or controlling conduct against an intimate partner. The legislation proposes a new offense that prohibits threatening to distribute child sexual abuse and exploitation material.
Last year, the 187 women that I mentioned were violently killed in this country. This year, we're currently at 137, and we've still got 3 weeks to go. So we know that that number will increase. In the overwhelming majority of cases in 2024, in 93% of instances where the perpetrator was identified, he was male, meaning that a woman and girl is killed every 2 days in this country, and most often by a man or a boy that she knows.
The 158-page bill, called the Protecting Victims Act, would also make it illegal to distribute intimate content and deepfake sexual images without consent.
It is at 5:54. Feels like -8. Watching live at 5.
It was an early Christmas for nearly 1,200 kids at the Liberty Grand today. We'll have more on the annual Caring and Sharing Gala coming up next. Welcome back. Hundreds of kids celebrated an early Christmas at the Liberty Grand this morning.
Good tunes. The annual Caring and Sharing Christmas Gala saw around 1,200 children from GTA Breakfast Clubs experience the magic of the holiday season. Each kid gets to pick a gift and give another one to a friend, meant to promote the meaning of sharing and caring. There's also Christmas carols, a delicious holiday lunch, and other activities inside the grand ballroom.
This year, we're very excited because our partners have always been the emergency services. Toronto Police have been our founding partner since 1983. And this year we have the ceremonial units from not only Toronto, but Peel Police, York Regional Police, Toronto Fire, and Toronto Ambulance. All the ceremonial units are going to be here, piping our children into the big gala ballroom and making them feel special and really recognizing them.
More than 200 volunteers made today's Sharing and Caring Christmas Gala possible.
Good times. Well, a day after being the Tampa Bay Lightning, who lead the division, one Leafs player was helping to deliver some holiday gifts.
Leafs winger Matthew Nyes toured an Amazon fulfillment center in Brampton this afternoon. The visit is part of Amazon announcing 3 separate $5,000 donations to local women's charities. Nyes is known for working hard on the ice, and he didn't settle for just a tour. The 23-year-old also packed a few orders, and he was sure to sign each one. So a few customers will get their Amazon orders with an autograph. Nyes also gave a few autographs to Amazon employees as well.
That's pretty good. Cool initiative. They should have all the Leafs do something like that. A bunch of autographs just everywhere.
Yes.
It's 5:58, feels like -8. You're watching Charles Breaking News, CP24. Here's a live look at Pearson Airport tonight. We are under 2 weather alerts, a special weather statement for significant snowfall and freezing drizzle.
And we're also keeping an eye on Air Transat negotiations that are still continuing as a strike deadline looms for 750 pilots. Thank you for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.